Okay, so we're gonna do a break of structure call. So first, I want you guys to think to yourself. You guys can take a second. If A, this is A, or B is break of structure or not, based off what you guys are used to my drawings. You guys can take a second if you want to draw this out. But I want you guys to really think what is A and B, and I want you guys to think if you guys can read the drawing. And that's important for me too, if you guys can understand what I'm drawing, because I want you guys to understand how to take notes and how to check your notes every single time you're back testing. Okay, so the break of structure, according to my drawing, would be A, okay? And the reason why is because, you know, this is our BCAR distribution, and this would have been my SAL that happened before the entry, breaking this structure that brought us into our entry, whereas this one, the entry didn't actually break any structure, right? This didn't count as structure, this would have been the low, right? So it didn't actually break, before entry didn't actually break structure, it just gave us a SAL. So that's some of the stuff that I want to talk about today. And I recommend you guys like screenshotting these two examples and writing that in detail, right? So you don't have to come back to this 30-minute Zoom and just kind of understanding the difference. Okay, so we have times where there could be situations where you can still enter this, but you just don't have that break of structure confirmation. I'm going to label it. So maybe you guys can do your notes and label it. And that will help you guys just kind of be able to read the distro. I think I have to fix the second distro. Let me start from the top. So I'll make a couple adjustments. Hopefully you guys didn't completely draw this out yet to make this completely valid, because our MSAL is not really lower than our AR, and it needs to be, okay, that one's correct. But it's just, it's not technically a break of structure sometimes. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, and that's what we're going to discuss. So let's just call this actually an MSAL. Okay, so that's the difference. Pretty much when your MSAL actually becomes lower than the structure that brought you in there. And remember, the structure is the last point we go down. So here is going down, and this is going all the way up, right? So this consolidation kind of going down, going all the way up. And we don't come outside this area until later. So hopefully you guys can understand that difference. So let's get into it. Okay, so first thing we're going to start here, oh, no, is our POI, previous point of interest. That's kind of what I forgot to put in the drawing. Okay, but you need to have a previous point of interest. So a previous point of, I had a good time frame for this. What was it? Order block was looking quite good. Pretty sure it's not the 5. It doesn't look that good, but we'll stick for the 5 for the sake of the rest of this example. So now that is the entry over here, right? It comes to this as an order block, and over here, that's why I'm confused with time frames. It was also an order block. So I'm gonna go to the 3 minute, if I'm not mistaken. I should have wrote down the time frames to make it easier for you guys, because we do have several examples. So we have a gap, but it is an order block that makes better sense. So the location and how the body's closed. So this is an imbalance, but it is an order block example as well. So I'm gonna get you guys to just trust me on that, because I don't remember the time frame. Okay, so we want to have price climbing into a point of interest. So that's going to create its own point of interest. So this example is like the example number 1, where the break of structure is with the SAL after the entry, as it's supposed to be. Now, the funny thing with this one is that this example is a little bit crazy, because we're breaking from the AR without a major sign of weakness. Okay, but we do have this classified as a PS, and we do have 3 dries up. We are back in the trading range 50%, which is important. Okay, so we have a sign of weakness. We just don't have an MSAL. What else do we have? So we're pro-trend, we have previous point of interest, we have the break of structure, we have all 3 elements, we have a PS, we have risk to reward, we have trading range alignment. So this trade, if we have 10 confirmations, we're out of 90. We're only missing 1, really, right? So this one is, your breaker structure is drawn as a trading range. Let's just draw it as a breaker structure. Okay, and this one, you're really a high probability here to get away with the MSAL is your previous point of interest, your clean breaker structure, your trading range alignment entry on the order block with super UPA. Price doesn't even come back into that zone that we talked about, right? Here's the entry. Okay, so things that can lower your probability if, even though we didn't fail, if price comes into this area, etc. So this is pretty high probability minus that MSAL, and the breaker structure is pretty clean. So what I want you guys to look at is how I take this and price goes up, right? And then it stops touching candles, right? There's this big space from here to here. So then let's make that the structure go down. And then obviously there's no more candles here. And then this is going all the way through all these candles. So everything is still touching this line until this point. So that's how we're really identifying structure. And then obviously this massive drop, etc. So that's why we wouldn't get caught in here for breaker structure. This is a structure, but we have another one that makes it more valid. So understanding that, and that's why we always have to go and do these same things over and over and over, because there's scenarios where your AR is not down here, right? And your breaker structure is kind of lower. But in this case, the BC and the AR is really its own structure that really takes over. So, with these calls that we do on the same topics in live analysis, it's about just looking at thousands of different situations. So this one's actually pretty unique. So I was excited to share this one with you guys.